Rhyme, No Reason. My buddy Jeff Bosey, hard at
Hey,
work
everybody.
over there. And I'm Rich Rader. We're going to have two really good guests with us any minute. We're just having a little bit of technical difficulties because doing this from home is just a pain in the ass. So, but we will be joined by Peter Bales, the professor, and Rich Walker. They are from not only the comedy community and big time comics, but also the teachers extraordinaire from Stand Up University. So we're looking forward to having them on here with us. Before we get rocking and rolling, I wanted to tell everybody about Teespring. I will even read you from my prepared notes from Teespring. How about that? Go to teespring.com. Scroll down to the search bar. Type in govsradio.com. When you get to govsradio.com, you'll be able to search for your favorite on-air Govs Radio hosts paraphernalia. Shirts, mugs, hats. I believe they have towels. I'm not sure what we're using those for, but I don't judge. But you can pick something out from your favorite hosts. I know that we do not have anything on there, but I'm sure that's not going to slow anybody down. Get some Knock 'em Dead stuff. Get some Three's Company stuff. You could get anything you want on there. There's a lot of good stuff. Pazuzu. Anyway, teespring.com, Govs Radio, pick your favorite show. Then what you want to do is you want to take a picture with your shirt or mug or hat or whatever you get, and you want to send it into govsradio.com. And every day they're doing a drawing, and if your picture is the 6th, that's 6. Yeah, see how I did that all by myself? 6. If your picture is the 6th one, you will get tickets to one of the 3 Governors Comedy Clubs, which will be reopening soon, thankfully, right? We're in phase 2 now, I guess tomorrow, and we will be looking forward very much so for the Governors Clubs to reopen and life getting back to normal, right? So that's teespring.com, and just remember, it's never too early to do your holiday shopping. I don't know how many days till Christmas or Ramadan or Festivus or whatever else you celebrate, but there you go. So, all right, we're going to try to get our buddies in here, so hold on a second and see if I can...
Hopefully one of them shows up. I would like to see both of them. Hopefully one of them shows up. Well, I just recently reached out to them, and our procurement department went ahead and sent them all the information that would be needed in order to process this. If anything, then, well, I mean, hey, listen, if there wasn't hiccups, if there wasn't, issues, it wouldn't be us.
So, Bose, we always have this box problem here. I don't know why. When I look it up, we got Rich Walker coming in. Let's let him in. And again, pardon us for our technology deficiencies here, but we're working with 5 computers, and we have the skill of basically a houseplant.
Yeah, same here. I'm working with 2 cell phones, a laptop,
all right.
a weather vane.
We should have our buddy. There he is, the handsome Rich Walker. What's up, buddy?
Now all he has to do is it's going to say join with audio.
He's connecting to audio. I'm going to try to get us all on the screen at the same time.
Hello, Rich.
Is he there? Does he have...
Hey, there he is. I hear him. How you doing, buddy?
Finally.
Yes.
Did Peter figure it out yet?
Hey, man. How are you?
Hey,
and then he... there you go.
Did Peter figure out how to get on?
Well, do they have those computer things in nursing homes?
Wow.
That's funny. We normally we're sent a link to get on. And
do you think we have that kind of budget?
Listen, this is how CNN, MSNBC, even Fox. This is how they do it.
This is Bosey and Rader. You're lucky you're not using cans and string, Walker.
That's right. Oh, there he is. All right. Oh, now I see. Good. We're all on.
Jeff, entertain the troops with Mr. Walker while I try to center us a little bit on social media here.
Well, you already went through ahead with
your face. Do you know that you're in the dark? Put a light bulb over your face.
How about this?
No, he's in the dark.
Me.
Oh,
me.
well, but that's deliberate.
Listen, do people really need to see my face?
Yes.
No.
Are you doing a cast show or what is this?
Say again?
Radio, right?
Yeah, yes, it's kind of like a radio, and I have the face for it.
Listen, let's get in some conversation before 30 minutes when Peter chimes in.
Wait a minute, Rich. I have a question first, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we're doing a Zoom show. We weren't lucky enough to get you in the studio and all, but so my two questions are: one, are you wearing pants? And two, is that your good Zoom shirt?
This is my nice Zoom shirt, and these are my panties.
Nice. Nice. Awesome.
And listen, we do have some promotional items.
We got Mr. Walker. I'm going to try to let him in, so let's see if we can get him in here.
You mean Peter?
You mean Mr. Bales?
Mr. Bales, right. I'm going to let Mr. Walker in twice.
There we go.
There he is.
The professor.
Right. Peter, you have to hit the
enter key.
Tell him he's got to hit the video button and the audio button.
Wow, we're off to a great stop.
Maybe somebody can
He's coming. He's coming. You know what? He never looked so damn good. There he is.
Oh my God! Wow, now that's a good looking man.
Hit the video.
No, he'll get there. Give him a second. There's a delay. Peter, can you hear us? Hello, Peter.
Earth to Major Tom.
Audio.
Peter.
Audio.
Peter. Hit the button, Peter.
Oh, man.
Look at him. He's clueless. Hit the button.
The button, really? Hold on.
The sound button.
Write out the word audio.
Audio.
So, while Rich goes ahead and does smoke signals.
All right, we got him on. We got him. We're good to go here. So, let's have at it. Do we have some audio for my man?
Eventually, we will.
Did he get it? Look, does he see what I wrote?
Is he muted? He's not muted.
I love this.
Rich.
Yes.
Did Stand Up University become a mime school, perhaps?
We are mom. Look, there's Peach.
Oh, his hair got long.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
We booted him.
That's it. So it's welcome everybody to Rich Walker and Peaches Rodriguez. We changed the lineup today.
We'll take Peaches over Peter. What the heck?
Is that backwards to you guys?
No, we read it just fine. It says unmute.
Well, the good news is it's 80 degrees and sunny out, and nobody's watching this debacle right now anyway. So
that's okay. Look.
All right, we got two of them working on it now.
Well, this is what happens when great minds get together. You go ahead, you will eventually get all this.
Let you go to 736 now?
You know, I guarantee you that is the opposite photo of every IT department in India.
All right, let them work it out. We'll talk. How you guys doing? How are you guys faring in this pandemic? Are you looking forward to everything opening?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And how are you faring?
This is kind of how I wish Stand Up University was.
Well, listen, you mean, if you think about it, you could do this, and then when you sit there and you think that you had enough, you could just go ahead and just hit the end button on them.
Right.
Good.
You know what, Rich?
Yeah.
But in fairness, he may not have volume, but he's got his own comedy brick wall there.
I see that. That him and Peach do comedy shows for each other.
Well,
that's how they work on material.
I guess they do them without sound. So that's good. So how you doing, Richard?
Before he comes on, tell everybody to go to Monty Walker Productions and watch our videos that we do every week.
You just told them.
We finally ran out of videos, and we tape more. We're taping more on Saturday. We're going to go to a park and do a few park bench comedy scene skits. And
wait, I thought you had a couple of months supply worth, and that was it was the 10. That was it. The 10.
The 10. Well, we had 21 shows. We even have ones that I want to reshoot that I'm not releasing yet.
Oh, okay. All right.
There's no rhyme or reason to this show.
No, there isn't.
No.
Wouldn't you figure? Wouldn't you figure? But listen,
sometimes there's no audio.
I do want to go ahead and say, although we do not have the audio of Mr. Bales ready, we do have the pleasure at least to view him. And in front of us, ladies and gentlemen, in case you do not know who these fine gentlemen are, you have Rich Walker, Peter Bales, the professors of Stand Up University. They hold classes located at the Brokerage Comedy Club in Belmore. They are the best at what they do. I had the privilege of meeting them about 2.5 years ago, and they have changed my life. They are amazing, amazing individuals. Now, there is a third teacher that is involved with the class. His name is Mr. Steve Lazarus.
Who's in Florida right now.
Who's in Florida. He should be returning soon. Real soon.
Yes.
But once again, now let's see if you can answer a question. How long have you guys been teaching Stand Up University?
Stand Up University, we started 22 years ago now.
Yeah. And out of those 22 years, how many graduates have you had?
We have there's got to be at least 1,400 graduates.
Okay.
Which means that each student came out of that class with about 10 jokes. So together we all wrote about 14,000 jokes.
Nice.
Not bad, right?
That's pretty good. It's pretty good.
But out of all of them, nothing I could use.
It's all quality material, huh?
Yes. So, Jeff, what are you sitting in front of a green screen?
Yes, it would be known as a green screen. And, of course, I took the liberty of making sure that I had your logo up.
Very nice. Look at that.
We got two Peter Bales now.
It's double the Bales, double the fun.
My God.
Oh, there he is.
What would you guys like to know about Rich Walker?
He's on. Listen, I don't care. That means he's twice the man.
I'm on twice.
Wow.
There he is.
Peter, I'm a twin, but
Yeah, let's get rid of one of these.
Yeah, keep one for parts.
My audio doesn't work on Safari, man. I'm stressed out.
It's all right. I'm quite okay.
Did Walker cover for me?
Yes, he did. Like usual, he always tries to open up for the headliner.
So, do we want to look at two of them, or?
I'm okay with two of him. Listen, so long as we have audio, we have Walker, we have Bales, they deal with us. I'm okay with it.
Hey, Bozy.
Once again,
don't get any ideas for next week. There's only going to be one picture of you. Don't be pulling this shit.
So once again, hence the name of the show, No Rhyme, No Reason. We got two Bales, we got one Walker, so we're good.
So Pete,
well,
Rich,
thanks for having us, guys.
Yeah, we have some good questions for you too.
Oh, you do?
We do.
Fire away. We're ready.
What'd you do before I got here?
We watched you struggle.
I was struggling. My audio wouldn't work. I was on the wrong browser. And
we did cover the fact that you guys have had Stand Up University up and going for 26 years.
22.
22 years.
1998.
Okay. Well, since the pandemic, it feels longer.
It does. And we never thought it would last that long, but 22 years, we've learned a thing or two.
So do you want to go ahead, Rich, and dabble into a question or two?
Well, sure. So first of all, thanks for joining us, both Peters and Rich. Appreciate it. I think the five of us are going to have fun tonight. So guys, here's what I'm curious about. Everybody who is into comedy, regardless of their level of experience, has their own writing style when they're writing jokes and stuff, right? So, for instance,
we teach them one.
Right, right. So Bozy here gets most of his ideas from an ice cream stick or a Snapple cap. But when you guys have been doing this a long time, is there one joke in your quiver where you feel is the single best joke you've ever written for yourself? And what is
for
it?
Yourself? or for the class?
Your best joke that you think you wrote yourself.
The best joke in my act that consistently gets a big laugh every time. I've never had that. Well, everybody knows their strongest joke. We always tell our students, you open on your strongest joke, you close on your second strongest. Getting them in the beginning is the most important thing. So I think my strongest joke, and I toss it out first, usually is balls, party of two. And the reason for that is you've got to get the audience in the first minute, because if you get them, they'll follow you anywhere. That is so key. Open with your strongest hit, even though you're kind of not going to get the biggest laugh because they're not there yet, but you've got to just go at them strong. Don't go to the mic and mumble. Don't go to the mic and do new stuff. Don't go to the mic and just talk about it's raining outside. Go in and get them right away.
I just want to. Can I add to that, Peter?
Sure.
You usually do.
Peter is 1,000% right. When you come out, don't lollygag around like he was saying. And this is not purple and lavender. Just go out there. And I hate it when comics have to talk about whatever. So what do you want me to talk about? You have to open with your strongest joke and then go
squeezing your head.
What
is that hat squeezing your head?
I'm trying to get the words out, but you do.
I know.
You do your opening joke,
Rich,
and then if you want,
what do you mean? What do you mean by purple and lavender? The whole audience has no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, don't worry about it. Skip what I just said. If you took the class, you should know what purple and lavender is. But here's what I'm saying. You, like Peter said, you do your opening joke, and then if you want to comment on the room, and after they've heard your first joke, do another bit or talk about
what's your best joke you feel you've written for yourself?
Well,
you guys are worse than I imagined.
I know. Come on, we're supposed to know what we're doing here. I couldn't even sign in. This is
all right, Rich.
Let's get rolling.
Let me rephrase it. What's the best joke one of your students wrote that you took and now use in your act? Maybe that'll help.
I have never taken one student joke out of the 14,000 jokes I talked about. I can't. It's very hard to say when it's. What I find really hard is doing my act out of context. I can't do it if someone goes, "Be funny" or "Tell me a joke." It's very hard for me. It's almost like if I don't have an audience in front of me, I don't remember my act at all. But
there's 5 of us here watching you.
Peter, maybe we could answer for each other would be better. What's your favorite joke? Like my favorite joke of Jeff Bosey, he knows what it is. And that's the one with
that's when he says, "That's my time."
Thanks for having me. My favorite joke is the one that he actually rewrote from Stand Up University. We had a joke for Jeff. If you want to tell everybody out there, tell them, Jeff, what the original joke was.
Yeah.
And then when you left Stand Up University, you actually found it. Like it took weeks to find that.
Well, yeah, the whole two. So how the original joke was written when I took Stand Up University with Rich and Peter, it went as far as me and my wife love going to garage sales.
My wife and I.
Thank you for correcting me, English teacher. And I can't stand bringing her with me. She's always complaining about the items that I purchase. We went to one. Don't interrupt me. We went to one. She says, "You don't need that." I said, "Yes, I do." She says, "When are you ever going to plow a field?" I told her, "When are you ever going to churn butter?" So that was the original joke. But then it turned, and this is where you guys are amazed, where I just turned it into...
funny?
Yes, funny, yes. So what are you going to do with 20 cookbooks? And I told her they're not for me. So it changed the joke altogether. It made it 10 times funnier than what it was.
It didn't change it that much. It improved it.
It improved it. Yes, improved it. That's what I meant.
Right.
Churned butter was the first thing we went with, but that's part of the process. That's how you do it. You try
now, if Jeff could find 12 more like that,
and then I can have the same amount of minutes as Walker does.
But Rich, how many cookbook jokes are there really?
There's not a lot. That may be the only one I know.
So Jeff,
but it's very hard for me. I guess my favorite joke is the one I open up with Pine Lawn Memorial Cemetery.
I love that joke.
Which isn't. I don't even think that's really a punchline so much as a shock factor, I guess. Like how would you describe that, Peter?
Well, it's a great joke. The issue is it goes on probably twice as long as it needs to.
Well, I like getting a lot of meat off of that bone.
Hey, Rich, that's spoken from a guy who's got his picture on our screen twice.
Listen, I want people watching this to think maybe we could benefit from taking stand-up university, and we're making no sense here.
Well,
I will say this.
We got good questions for you, Jeff. Hit him with a good one.
Okay, wait. Let me bring this up. First off, if you guys are able to notice the relationship between Peter and Rich, this is the same sort of banter that goes on in the classroom where they collaborate and come up with great ideas and they feed off of each other. They have such a relationship that's amazing. And from that, they're able to go ahead and pass that on to the students that take their class. So my next question for you guys.
Thank you.
As two guys who have performed in large comedy venues around the country, except for Rich, and taught hundreds of new comedians and stand-up tell us about your own worst night bombing on stage in your career.
Peter, you can answer that.
He must have bombed twice.
Well, I always tell this story about my worst, probably most pathetic night in comedy was at the comic strip in New York City when I was first starting out, probably around 1980. And the comic strip used to put people on at 2:45 in the morning. They were developing comics back then. And as long as there was somebody in there watching, they would put a comedian on stage to work out their new stuff. I went on at 2:45. There was a party of 4 in the back. They weren't drinking. They weren't laughing. I went up. I couldn't see them because of the lights. And I just went into my act. There's no waitress in there. There's nobody in there. And I couldn't see. I'm doing my act. The 4 people in the room got up and left.
Wow.
And I'm not getting any laughs. And that was normal because I was just starting out. So I just kept going. I was performing to an empty room. Nobody was in there. It doesn't get pathetic. People, I performed to 2 people. Yeah, I performed to no people. How about that? Beat that. And there's a clear window that looks into the comic strip. And Jerry Seinfeld was hanging out at the bar, and he looked through the window. He saw what was going on. He walked into the room, and I will never, ever forget this. He walked down the aisle, stood at the side of the stage, and I turned and noticed him. And I will never forget what he said. He goes, "Hey, man, there's nobody here." And I just shrugged, and I went, well, "Okay, thanks," and I walked off stage. It doesn't get more pathetic than that. More than nobody. But I was happy.
I want to chime in real quick. Peter, tell them my favorite story where you actually worked the line at the King Tut exhibit in the city. Tell them what happened there.
They hired comedians to just stand on the sidewalk and do comedy for people online to see the King Tut exhibit. That's how far this goes back. But the line was moving. So one group of people would hear the punchline, and then they'd keep going, and the next group would hear the setup to the next joke. It made no sense whatsoever. They didn't hear the entire joke.
But it was a paid gig.
I was once hired by an airline, like a no-frills airline, that flew from Newark to New Haven to do stand-up in the aisle of an airplane.
Wow.
And nobody's listening. We hit turbulence. I had to sit down. In my dressing room, there were 2 guys with headphones on. It that was very, very difficult.
You notice how Walker doesn't chime in with one bomb story, but he throws Peter out there 3 times.
I have one bomb story I like. When I first started comedy, I was doing it was the Deepdale Community Center for Steve Lazarus, and it was poolside, and they had like a gazebo, and we were performing in the gazebo, and it was at night. The audience was almost pitch black, and it was like 9,000 degrees. We're all sweating, and it was I'm doing this. I'm on the stage, and it was like dead silent. You could actually hear the crickets in the night. And I'm on stage bombing, and I remember seeing a woman in the front row turn to her husband, and it was in slow motion. She said, "He's bombing." That was Mindy.
Oh, man.
So I remember seeing the words come out of her mouth. He's bombing.
I went on stage at a college, I think it was Montclair State, and doing comedy in the lunchroom at lunchtime for the college students. So I go on, and I'm doing great. I mean, I'm on for like 10 minutes. I'm doing great. I'm killing. And then right before my eyes, I have no idea what's going on. The whole audience stood up and started walking out. And I'm wondering what happened. I was killing. It was 10-1. They had to go to class. They just got up and they all left. And I'm like, I was just killing a minute ago. What happened? What did I say?
Well, I got another question for you guys.
Wait. Let me just tell you my bombing story. One time at CW Post, I'm with Tim Hummayune. Peter, do you guys know who Tim Hummayune is?
Yeah, he's funny. Yeah.
He's real funny. So I'm doing CW Post. They're having Night at the Apollo night. And him and I were the only 2 really white comics. And there were singers, there were dancers. And they had a huge gong on the stage. And I was up there. And I must have been so white that the guy comes out, hits the gong, but he hit it so hard, it went off the hinge and it rolled across behind me. This is going on. And as it's rolling, he keeps hitting it. And it was like a tire on a car going. It was so funny.
Oh, man.
Now, we should explain to the audience watching, when comedians get together at the diner and we're telling comedy stories, these are the stories we tell because bombing stories are rare. They're different. They set the night apart. 99.9% of the time, the show goes great, and everybody has fun. But we remember when a fight
Peter.
We remember when a fight breaks out, when the power goes out, when something goes wrong.
Sure.
And that's what comedians talk about.
So let me ask you guys this. Every graduating class, right? You guys, at the end of your 5 weeks of class or 6? 5?
It's 5 weeks of class, the show,
right?
And then we have a wrap-up class where we watch the video and critique.
So
it's a 7-week course.
Right before that show, that graduation show on week 6, right?
5.
Isn't it week 6 the show?
6 is the show,
right?
You said before we graduate.
So when you're just about to start the graduation show, and you have people who are in your class, a lot of them for the very first time, never performing in front of a live audience, right? What goes through the 2 of you right before the show's going to start? Are you guys feeling anything or worried about anything? Because I know you guys perform, but you know your stuff. Are you worried at all about what's going to go down on that show?
I always say to myself, well, their checks have cleared. So,
Rich, we're supposed to joke around on this show. Not make serious points.
Joke around on that.
Now, Rich remembers this. Our students come up so big. They rise to the occasion. They accomplish what they didn't think they could accomplish. And that's why our class works, because it's such a great experience. One time, however, there was a student who had a panic attack, basically, before he was going to go on.
Bozy.
Standing on the side. It wasn't Bozy. Well, that would have made sense. and you know, I was there with him, and I'm saying, you can do this. You're totally ready. You can do this. I can't go on. I can't go on. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. And about less than a minute before he was going to go on, he bolted from the club. The broker happened to be the brokerage. Runs down the aisle, out of the club. I'm chasing him, saying, "You can do this. You can do this." And he goes out onto the sideway outside, runs down the front of the club, turns the corner, and we never saw him again.
Wow.
No.
Never saw him again.
That only happened. And then also we had a magician in the very beginning take the class who flipped out, and he never showed up for the show either, because he said and later on he said, I have to have a deck of cards in my hand or something.
We've had well over 1,000 students. Let's be real.
Oh yeah, I was just
this
before
is
you
a
came on.
Again, you know, we're.
But how nervous are you guys? Like, do you guys get nervous?
I'm not nervous at all, because the students come up big, and you know what? We've worked hard. We've prepped.
They're all ready.
They're ready.
Every one of them was ready before the show started.
That's awesome.
You know, and the night of the show, they're not even students anymore. They're comedians.
Great.
That's right.
In case anybody's just tuning in, we have the legendary Peter Bales and Rich Walker on with us from Stand Up University. You can find them, their website at standupuniversity.com. You can also reach them at 516-810-5447. Along with that, I have to bring up one other possible bombing story that I witnessed. I wasn't involved. I witnessed. And I think this has to be one of the worst stories, real quickly. Karla Oakerson. We all know her, correct?
Yeah.
I feel there is nothing more humiliating than getting heckled by a mute.
How did that happen?
Basically, he just kept on coming up to her while she was doing her performance and kept on writing on a piece of paper and putting it up to her face. Every day, kept on writing and throughout the whole set. It was completely amazing. So
really?
Let me ask
That's such an odd story.
So, but we all, yeah. But we all love.
Come on, get out of here.
Karla is a proud graduate and a terrific comedian.
You guys, and then now, if I may ask, you've had several success stories come out of Stand Up University. One of them would be Chris Monty.
Yes,
absolutely.
Eric Tartaglione.
Yes,
absolutely.
And then there's a couple of others, like one or two that you can rattle off the top of your heads.
Christopher Brian Roach.
There you go.
How many times did he take our class? He took our class like 5 times.
More. I think it was 6.
He didn't mess around. Chris
let me say one thing.
He came in with his notebook and he really took it seriously. What do you think of this? What do you think of this? He worked like crazy, Chris Roach did.
Yeah. I was just going to say the same thing. We also have other guys that went on doing successful comedy. Eric Haft is one.
Great comic.
Ray Romano.
Ray Romano.
He didn't take it, but he should have. He should have.
Carlin. I remember Carlin took the class. He bragged about it. Yeah.
George Carlin loved it. We've had so many guys. You know, we had one guy actually leave the class, and who? Yeah. Oh, my wife was talking to me.
Obviously, other than your boyfriend. Yes, not your boyfriend. Got it. Go ahead.
I forgot what was I even talking about.
A guy leaving the class.
Yeah, so you had one guy leaving the class that.
Oh, he ended up buying all 3 of the governor's clubs. He's no longer with the company, but he was one. We've worked with comedy teams before. We've had husband-wife teams.
Yes.
We've had jugglers take the class. We've had a number of magicians.
Ventriloquists. We've had everything under the sun.
Have you ever had anybody do a tight 17-minute set?
We've had.
Yes, we have.
It drives us crazy.
That was Ed Masson.
One of my favorite shows I ever attended, because I know Eddie a long time, and that was one of the funniest nights I've been around in comedy.
Because
I will say one thing. In his defense, he was doing very well, so we let it go. But we've had students that it was almost like they defied us, and they went up and they had their 5-minute set or 6-minute set, and then they would go up and they defied us and kept going and going, and out of rudeness, actually. And you don't see these guys ever again after that.
Wow.
They just have to prove to their friends that they're going to be able to get on stage. And, those are the worst kind that take it. If you come into our class and you're serious and you want to do stand-up comedy, you're in the right place. And Peter and I will and even Steve, we'll sift out right away the guys that don't belong there. But yet, Jeff Bosey came back against our better wishes.
I signed him up for another one.
You signed him.
I appreciate your loving will.
But Rich,
what I feel bad about? Who's never taken our class but paid for it?
Me.
Rich Rate is the only guy that paid for the class, gave it to somebody else, and he never took it.
Well, you know what I decided though? I'm gonna take the class, but I want to take it with both Peter Bales and no Walkers. Is it possible to get the two Peters?
Yes.
Double the Peter, double the fun.
Yeah, exactly. So, guys, tell a little bit about because we have something else we want to do with you guys before we let you.
Yes,
guys
Peter
go.
has another bombing story.
Tell us how somebody can sign up for Stand Up University and what to expect, and more importantly, I know there are people who have jitters about maybe doing this. Should they do it? Is it going to be rough? Talk a little bit about how they can sign up, what you do to alleviate those fears, and what can they expect in the class.
Go ahead, Rich. You know those details. I'm the creator.
Okay. Well, our class is a 7-week class. 5 weeks is classroom, where we're going to take your material, what you want to talk about, things you want to talk about, things that annoy you, things that get you angry, and we're going to put them to fit your life and to make it palatable for other people to see, not just your friends at a diner. So, and also we could help comedians that are out there that want to punch up their material, and a lot of times their material is very funny, but it's just not palatable for an audience. So we will get them into shape and help them write it. The goal of our class is to get them to come in and leave knowing how to write material. If you take other classes, they'll help you with a few jokes, punch up, whatever. But that's not our goal. Our goal is to turn you into a stand-up comedian and to get you where when you leave our class, you'll know what's funny. You'll know and you'll hear what's funny. Yes.
So how do they join?
You just go to our website, standupuniversity.com, call me, you send us a check, you're in the class, you could pay by credit card. And it's, we do ask that you pay in full before the class starts. And there's no refunds.
The hardest, let me cut in here.
I'm kidding.
The hardest thing, the hardest part is that first step through the door. If you want to do stand-up comedy, come to Stand Up University at Governors at the Brokerage, because we're going to be welcoming to you. We are totally progressive and welcoming. We're not judgmental. And the hardest thing is, it's normal to be nervous, but once you take that step through the door, we're going to welcome you and take you on a fun journey.
It's fun. The whole class is fun. 7 weeks, we laugh, we have fun, we work hard. Go ahead, Peter.
The students are going to walk in and they're going to see you and they're going to wonder, is this, what the hell's going on? But then I'm going to walk in and they'll realize this is professional, And we'll get right down to work on the first day. Rich and I banter back and forth. And what Rich, he referenced at the beginning, purple and lavender, which is, he infuriates me when we're working on a joke and the word in the joke is purple, and for no reason, none, he changes the word to lavender, and I say, why are you changing that? It was purple.
It's funnier.
Lavender is better. No, it's not.
Yeah, but then I would hear him say, but yeah, Peter, listen to it. Do you hear it? Lavender. Do you hear the way that there's more syllables?
Wow.
So, okay, go ahead, Rich.
Let me say one thing, Jeff.
Just one thing.
This class, we have a lot of professional comedians come in who don't like us to really tell that they're taking the class. But they do take it. And some comics are out there for a few years going, I just don't get, I don't know who I am yet on stage. A lot of my stuff doesn't hit. Why doesn't it hit? This class is also for them, and that's why you should take it. And don't be embarrassed by taking the class, because we're going to help you. And it's not that I'm a great comic or Peter's a great comic, which we are, but we're using the 21 years of experience in teaching it. And over the years, we figured out a lot of tricks of the trade that make things move faster or easier for you to figure out how to get the jokes to click, and little tricks. And once you hear these tricks,
the first day is figuring out who you are. What do you want to talk about? You choose it.
Where some comics go 10 years and they still don't know who their character is. Once the character is figured out and written, you'll know how to write for that character. Sometimes people come up to us and go, hey, maybe you could try this joke or whatever, but it doesn't fit your act. So don't do it if it doesn't fit your persona.
And we talk about how comedy is inspired by the truth. It doesn't literally have to be true. In fact, something funny that happened to you in real life, 99% of the time, is not going to be funny enough for an audience of strangers paying for overpriced drinks. You've got to find who you are, and we help you with that a lot.
The views of Peter Bales do not reflect the views of Jeff Bosey and Rich Rada or Governor's Comedy Club.
Or Rich Walker.
I was talking about any comedy club.
So, guys, we need to take about 30-second break quick, and then we're going to jump into something Jeff and I want to see how bright you guys are.
Well, I have two more questions for them as soon as you get done with the...
Hold on one sec. So, real quick, Governors during quarantine has been doing a really great job of supporting local businesses. So I want to give a quick shout out, one to Hopscotch Bottle Shop, not too far from Mr. Walker, actually. They're on 848 Long Island Avenue in Deer Park, 631-492-9125.
Oh, we know them, yes.
Yep. So you can go to hopscotchny.com. Obviously, tomorrow, phase 2 starts on Long Island, so you'll be able to actually get inside a little bit, I guess, now, rather than only curbside pickup. But listen, support your local businesses, and who doesn't need alcohol and beer at this point? Hopscotch Bottle Shop. Go to hopscotchny.com, 631-492-9125. You can order online, you can call up, pick up, or delivery. Mr. Bosey.
Yes. Okay. So I wanted to go into a couple of questions and to piggyback off what they were discussing just before in regards to taking a person's real life experience and going through it to find the funny. Now, my next question is going to be how do you think post-quarantine comedy is going to be, particularly since there will be a ridiculous amount of the toilet paper jokes, mask, quarantine hair, and the whole shebang? How are you guys going to fare out dealing with those?
Well, I can answer that question. One of the things that we teach in stand-up comedy is actually discouraging to current event jokes. And the reason is you want jokes that are going to be timeless. You want jokes you can do on Long Island and in the middle of Pennsylvania and in Idaho. And believe me, toilet paper jokes and paper towel jokes and pandemic jokes are going to last for a relatively short amount of time because this will pass. And I think what you should really be doing is focusing on material that you're going to be doing for the rest of your stand-up comedy career.
Amen.
I think both Peters hit that right on the head. Jeff, what else you got for him?
Now, as far as like how we used to always go ahead after each show, most comics, Walker knows about this, where he's gotten discouraged plenty of times. After the show, usually a comic would go ahead and wait in the vestibule area to go ahead and greet the audience on their way out. So now, as far as like now with the way things are, how do you think that's going to go ahead and change the ways of how things used to be done after a show?
Well, I think that the making out with women that I used to do will probably continue because
See the
this
way he threw women in there? Yeah.
I think that maybe, at first there'll be more social distancing, but I think this is going to come back. We just have to be patient. It's going to come back.
Hey, Rich, can you tell my favorite after show story? Basically on the receiving line when you had done a show and there was a couple leaving. I believe you told me that story, and they turned to the one comic and said something, and then to you. You know the story I'm talking about?
No.
Come on. They said to the other comic, they go,
"Come on!
Oh my God!
Rich knows. Rich knows the story.
I don't know what he's still. Wait, remind me. What was it?
It has to do when they go ahead and they saw Gilbert Gottfried.
Yeah, and you were there. And they said,
I should have closed it.
No.
Yeah.
Come on, Rich. Tell the truth.
Gilbert Gottfried story.
They said somebody said to you, they went up to hit with the other comedian. They were like, "Oh my God, you were great. You were so funny." And you were standing there. They turned to you and they said, "You were good too."
So I'm standing there next to Gilbert Gottfried after the show, and they go up to Gilbert and they go, "You were great. This guy. You were so funny. You were hysterical. I couldn't even breathe." Then out of the corner of his eye, he sees me standing there, and he goes, "You were good too." That is the rudest thing in the world to say to a comedian. Don't ever say that. I had a guy, Peter was there, a guy come up to me after a show, and he goes, "Hey, I thought you were funny." That is rude. I did a nursing home once, and it was an old woman. She come up to me, and she goes, "You'll find something."
I'll tell you something else. I'll tell you, the MC, the host, that means the same thing, is sometimes the funniest person on the show. It is certainly the hardest job on the show.
Yes.
And audiences sometimes give such disrespect to the host. I've hosted a show and been standing by the front door as people are leaving, and they'll come up to me and they'll say, "You're really funny. You should go into comedy."
That was true. Remember, it was the last show we did.
Yeah, they don't even consider, that's the respect they give to the host. They don't consider them a real comedian. And
is that you or the other Peter?
That
joke never gets old.
They both suck. They both suck.
And of course, every comedian has had this happen when somebody comes up to you and really compliments you, and you weren't on the show.
Oh, nice.
Just hanging out.
How about this? Did this ever happen to you where they come up and they tell you their favorite bit in your act, but it wasn't you? It was
not your bit, somebody else's bit.
Well, Rich.
That wasn't me.
Well, Rich, it could have been you. It just. So guys, Jeff and I put together a little thing we like to call Stump the Comedy Legend. Now, Peter, because of your,
you can sit out on this.
Peter's teaching background. That's good. And Rich, for your comedic background, we put together a few questions, and we want to see how good you guys are. Okay.
Okay.
So we're gonna I'll give you the first one, and I tried to gear
answers?
Either, whichever. I geared them towards both of your specialties. Okay.
With that, whichever one has over a 12th grade reading level.
Yes. Okay. Can you name the two legendary comedians born within 10 days of each other in October of 1925?
Oh, jeez. That's
19 what?
1925, October 25. Two comedy legends born within 10 days of each other.
Rodney Dangerfield, Lenny Bruce.
You got one.
Close.
Really? Which one did he get?
He got Lenny Bruce.
Lenny Bruce. Comedy
1925. Lou Costello.
I'm going to make you mad at yourself, Walker.
Give us a hint. Give a hint.
Your kid.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Rich Walker's son.
Mike Dillon.
Close. Real close.
Well, you said his son's name is Dillon.
Johnny Carson and Lenny Bruce.
Ooh. Great. My kid.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
Well, yeah.
You didn't get that after he says your kid?
I thought he was talking to you.
All right.
Next question.
All right, let's see if you can answer this one. What comedian...
So we're half right on that.
What comedian has won the most Grammys for Best Comedy Album? And how many, if you know that?
Richard Pryor?
No.
Bill Cosby.
Yes. How many?
I'll guess 4. Well,
7.
7.
7. Wow.
5 in a row he won.
Wow.
Bozy, hit him with number 3. This is up Peter's alley.
Okay, this is definitely up Peter's alley. Who said when they call the roll in the Senate, the senators don't know whether to answer present or not guilty? Who said that?
Oh, that was James Madison. No, wait. Well, let me think for a second. That was a president. That was what's his name?
Lincoln?
No. I know this.
I guess you took that class pass fail.
Yeah, I did. I took that history class pass fail. I'm blind. I know the guy.
He was very clever. So Trump?
This was probably said in the 20s by what's his name?
At this point, just pick one.
Had a famous brother.
Had a famous brother.
Yeah.
And his name is mentioned in one of your jokes.
Peter, you mentioned a president in your act.
This is. I mentioned somebody's name, and
now it's out of context. He can't do it. He's lost.
I'm totally lost.
Teddy Roosevelt.
Oh, Teddy Roosevelt said that?
Yep.
Yes.
He had a brother.
It's his cousin.
I thought thinking comics.
No.
You're
a history guy. We're giving you history.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. All right. You ready? You might know this one. Rich, I'm going to gear this one towards you.
Okay.
All right. How many movies did Abbott and Costello make together? And what was the last movie titled?
Abbott and Costello Meet the Wolfman.
No.
Frankenstein.
Nope.
No.
Did they meet somebody?
I'm sure they met someone.
I'm going to say they made 27 movies.
That's not even the question.
That was one of the questions.
It was one of the questions. He said, how many movies?
How many movies did they make?
You're 75% correct.
So the answer is they've made 36 movies.
Right.
And the last movie was Dance With Me, Harry, in 1956.
Never heard of it.
Really?
Most people did.
Wow.
Did you hear that movie, Dance With Me, Harry?
Jeff,
what year did that come out?
56.
You know, the year you were born, Walker.
Jeff,
anyways,
Jeff, we're gonna give him. Let's give this last one to Peter and see if he can tee it up, or else.
Yes.
You ready, Peter?
I'm ready.
Give him another president one.
A woman said to a president, "I'll bet I can get you to say more than. I bet I can get more than 2 words out of you," and he responded, "You lose."
Good. Yeah.
Which
I know
president?
His name was Silent Cal. And they were talking about Calvin Coolidge. All right, finally, presidents I get.
Except Teddy Roosevelt ones.
Yes, but I wasn't even considering presidents.
Who had a brother?
A cousin. It's his cousin.
We gave him brother.
I even tried to give
Roosevelt's brother.
I even tried to go ahead and give him a clue, saying that it was one of the jokes in his act where he mentions about Roosevelt Field.
Oh, jeez.
You see, Jeff?
Comedians.
Jeff knows you're set.
Now I know why you had Jeff on the show, Rich.
Well, so, we can't have 2 Peters and a Rich every week,
This is a very rare thing.
So, guys, we got 5 minutes to wrap it up here. And anything, what's on your mind? What are you guys thinking about, the next 6 to 12 months in the comedy world? How are you guys thinking this is going to go down?
Well, I'm hoping that our class can resume legally. I got to talk to the big man, Jimmy, but social distancing, it's not a show. It's not a comedy show. It's not a restaurant. It's a class.
Right.
And, if you keep it 10 or under and you do social distancing, we might be able to get going with the class sooner rather than later. I'm very hopeful about that.
But now with that said, when they go ahead and you start the class up, you guys going to try to time it out to where there'll be that other phase that opens, so this way you have the graduation show?
Well, we were talking about that.
And when we finish, we will owe governors a graduation show. We're happy to do it as soon as we can. Maybe we have a temporary Zoom graduation or something like that, but we would definitely want to go and do a live show as soon as possible.
That's awesome.
Now,
I think it could be legal.
Okay. Just to add to that, standupuniversity.com. Now, next thing, if you're asking a question about the pandemic and where we're going to go with stand-up comedy, I think that this summer would be great if anybody out there wants to do backyard parties, things like that. I don't know if that's going to be allowed, but I mean, I think people are already starting to get together and have outdoor functions. So wouldn't it be great if all the comics kept busy this summer with outdoor under the 10 parties, things like that? That's what I think would keep us all busy during the summer.
Okay.
Absolutely. Definitely. It helps. It does help support the comedians.
Behind shower curtains.
Have you guys done a lot of writing over the last 3 months of quarantine?
None.
I haven't done a lot of writing over the last 40 years.
Right.
And it shows.
You know what scares me the most? I'm wondering if I'm going to be able to remember my act. If I go 2 weeks without doing comedy, I'm like flubbing over all my words.
Well, let me say something.
Yeah.
Here. To all of the people who are thinking of going into stand-up comedy, or all the comedians watching who probably know this, you should be writing down your keywords, a list of your bits, so that you don't forget them and what your primary order is. Everybody, whether you
great advice,
stand-up comedy or you haven't, have a little notebook and write down your topics, write down your ideas so you don't forget them. Have them ready to go, because this will pass. Absolutely. Don't forget things. So write down your bits and write down your ideas. That goes for you guys. It goes for me. It goes for everybody.
Great
advice.
Fantastic. Great.
Well, guys, I'd like to personally thank you guys for coming on with us tonight. We definitely would love to have you guys.
Yes, go ahead.
Can I just ask you one? I want to get you guys now with a question, all three of you.
Go ahead.
Who was America's first stand-up comedian? Who's America's first stand-up comedian?
On television or radio or what?
Just in being a
vaudeville?
I think it was
Socrates.
Shakespeare.
No, it's been America's first stand-up comedian.
In America.
Yes,
William Shakespeare.
Oh my God. I want to say this was I want to say the date was in the 40s.
No, I think it was a long time to find the real first one. He smoked a cigar. He liked to wear a white suit.
God. George Burns.
Morgan Freeman.
George Burns.
Let me give you a hint.
We got 20 seconds.
Tom Sawyer.
Oh, Tom Sawyer.
Tom Sawyer.
Mark Twain.
Oh, Mark Twain. Okay.
Probably give him credit for being. Sorry, I just had to get
guys,
Mark Twain.
We got 10 seconds. I want to wrap it up. Say thanks for joining us. If you guys ever want to come back,
guys, great show.
Thank you.
We'd love to have you.
Listen,
I love the show.
Thank you very much.
Hopscotch.
Yes, thank you very much for Mr. Rich Walker and Peter Bales taking time out of their day. Don't forget to visit them at standupuniversity.com. They are the best at what they do, and you definitely want to sign up for their next class.
Yes. Thank you, fellas. Appreciate it.
All right. You're the best. Thank you.
Thank
Good
you,
night,
guys.
Peter,
Fantastic.
Peter and Rich.